We as a country used to believe that when we see something wrong, we do something about it, especially when evil people are trying to indoctrinate and hurt your children, especially with how they're doing it today. It's terrible because they're dividing your children on every metric. And this time, in this video, we're talking about race. So this was from a while ago, it was from Valentine's Day, but it's still worth mentioning because it's insane. BV Prep, which is a school in Rhode Island, allegedly sent a note to first graders advising them not to bring Valentine's Day cards depicting only white people. Which I spoke about this with my girlfriend. She was like, "Well, when have you seen actual people on a Valentine's Day card?" And I thought that was a good point because I've never seen that. Never in my life have I seen that. I'm sure it exists, but again, they're sending this out to first graders saying, guys, if it has too many white people on it, don't bring it in. And here's the note. It says, "Dear first grade families, we are sending a quick note home to inform you that our scholars may bring in Pride Plus One Love Day cards on February 14th, which I'm not sure. I'm guessing Pride is probably some LGBTQ thing, but who knows. If your child would like to bring cards for classmates, please bring a card for every other child in their class. Please remember that Valentine's Day is a celebration about love and should be inclusive of all types of families, including LGBTQA. Also, consider talking to your child about avoiding cards that may portray only white human characters. Representation matters, and our students of color also deserve to see themselves in some of the cards they receive, unless we can find cards without people pictured at all. Thank you, the first grade team." It's not even worth saying this anymore. It never was worth saying this, but if that said, please make sure there's not too many black people or Asian people on that card, then everybody would freak out. Please make sure there's not too many Jewish people on that card. There's not too many yarmulkes on that card. They would freak out and go crazy. And there would be a whole thing, and everyone would go insane. But because it's white people, which again makes no sense because I have nothing in common with most Swiss people, I have nothing in common with most Spaniards, so why should we be grouped together? It's not even worth asking that question because it's obvious it's for division. That's why. And I see so many conservatives going, well, this doesn't make sense because of this, this, and this. And it's like, God, you are an idiot for even trying to explain that because it's not meant to make sense. It never was meant to make sense. And yet these conservatives continuously try to say that it's even worth speaking about these things, worth speaking about these inconsistencies with the language and the way these people act. Because the fact is, they act in an evil way. They do these things on purpose, even though they're trying to do good. They're not trying to be evil, at least not these people, these teachers or the people at the bottom, basically. They're not trying to be evil. They think they're doing good. But you cannot constantly use their idiotic ways of thinking that are evil and go, well, this doesn't make sense because of this. Because, yes, everybody knows that. And it's so easy to point out. It's not even worth pointing out. And this is something that needs to be addressed. Because with all these conservatives, they're the good guys, is what people say about them. But that's actually not true at all. That's not true at all. Because to be good, you have to be actively doing something to be good. Pointing out inconsistencies in the way people live is not being good. Making videos online for other people to see is not being good. It's not being a good human. Because yes, while you may be spreading information to other people, which is a good thing, you are not actually doing something about it. And that goes for me too. I'm just making videos to show people what's going on. I'm not saying that I'm some leader that everyone should follow because I'm making videos about something that people can look up in 5 seconds if they go to their school's website. That makes no sense at all. So these good guys need to be held accountable for the fact that they basically do nothing and act like they're the saviors. But here's another story. A high school asks employees to avoid inviting white peers to event for people of color due to mistrust. This is what happens. Mistrust is created because people are told that white people are inherently evil. You cannot trust them because at some point they're going to try and ruin you. They have for centuries past, and they always will. The moment a white baby is born, he or she is set up to destroy you. That is what kids are taught. That is what your kids are taught. And what more parents need to understand is that if you're the type of parent, if you're the type of person that just believes that you want to live your own life, and as long as nobody hurts you, messes with you, or hurts anyone else, you want everyone else to live their own lives. Your children are going to come after you if you don't pay attention to what they're being taught, because what they're being taught is that the people who just want to live their lives, who want to have freedom, prosperity, and peace, they are the evil people. That is what they're being taught. And they're being taught to go after those people. So that's something you need to pay attention to. You always need to pay attention to what your children are being taught in school. You need to pay attention to the school board, school curriculum, and you'll find out a lot of times you can't get the curriculum because they try to hide it from you. I tried to get curriculum from Denver Public Schools, and they said that their curriculum was owned by a private company, meaning that they could not give it to me when I sent them a Freedom of Information Act request. So a private company owns your school's curriculum. When I was going there, I saw that a lot of what we were being taught was political. So imagine if you could see the curriculum. It would be insane. And going back to the whole conservative savior thing, you, as a parent, can be a good person, can be a good parent if you go out and get the curriculum and try to stop this from happening to make sure that your children are not indoctrinated and that they're individual people, that they grow up to be good men and women who just want to live their own lives and let everybody live their own lives as long as they are not hurt or messed with and as long as nobody else messes or hurts with anybody else. That's what you have to do. But anyway, guys, this is just another example of how schools, teachers, administration are all trying to divide your children and separate groups to create further division and get people hurt and indoctrinate your children. So yeah, guys, just want to make this video to show you yet another example of something crazy going on within our schools. This school was in a California school district. This one about high school employees asking to avoid inviting white peers. And like I said, the previous one was about a school in Rhode Island. So it's everywhere, absolutely everywhere. And I know Rhode Island and California are considered blue states, but it doesn't matter. It's still kids being indoctrinated.